is it possible and is it realistic to talk about personalization in MOOCs? This is exactly what I'm studying now. I'm trying to answer this question as well. And so we have surveyed 150 some instructors around the world doing MOOCs about their personalization practices. What we need to do next, or what we're currently doing, is interviewing them on what specifically they have done. We've got some generalities of what they're attempting to do to personalize the course. And to be honest, there's more happening to some degree than what we had expected they would be doing. They would like to do more, but at the same time they're constrained by the technologies that are out there. They're constrained by their own personal time. They're constrained by the challenge of expectations of their department or program into how and when and where they'll personalize those courses. There's not an agreed upon approach in most programs that are offering MOOCs as a certificate or as a course or as a first course into a master's degree or whatever it is. So there's not a huge agreement local agreement in most departments, nor is there agreement universally about what personalization means. So first of all, we're trying to define what that is. And secondly, we're trying to get at what are the resources that people utilize to personalize, and what specific things are they doing to get at more meaningful, more personal identity being built within a course, so you feel as though someone cares for you. And it is possible to some degree. In fact, one question we asked that my research team didn't want me to ask was, how many friends did you make in the MOOC as a result of teaching that MOOC? 75% of courses and instructors out there who taught the most recent MOOC made 0 new friends. But about 25% then, the remaining, made between 1 to 20 friends, of which a large percent made made 5 to 10 friends within teaching a MOOC. That's an indicator of the personalization that's happening in that particular MOOC. That's something we have to follow up on. It was just one question, something I thought would be interesting to ask. It gets at that sense of what's the ambiance like within that course? What's it like to be a student? If the instructor is making new personal friends, which is what happened when I taught my MOOC. I have now friends from Florence, Italy, and from Edinburgh, Scotland, and from Melbourne, Australia, and from other parts of the world. When I've gone to visit, people say, I took your MOOC, or some of them wanted me to look at their own. So I taught a MOOC on how instructors can learn to teach online. And so many of them sent me the courses they're teaching online and wanted me to look under the hood, at their course and give them feedback. And for some I did. And they became personally indebted, they felt, and sent me thank you notes and felt, we created a collegial nature within the class. If you teach adults within the MOOC, you can create a collegiality. You become a concierge. I look at teaching today, instructors today. In my next book, Education 2020, I'm going to talk about 20 new roles of the college or university instructor, or any instructor, secondary, whatever, that all start with the letter C. The instructor is a coach, a concierge in a hotel. My concierge sends me on pathways to go to. This is happening now in MOOCs and in open education. We have pathways that we can help nurture it and nudge people down and give them some advice as where to look. Knowledge is exploding. No one can learn everything today. What we can do is provide structures for people to learn. And so in part, we're curators, another C word. We find good quality content and we make those golden nuggets available just like a museum curator does. That museum curator puts on display a few objects from thousands that they have available. You're doing the same in teaching any kind of class, online or blended, and in a MOOC in particular. And so the instructor is a curator finding those. You also are a cultivator, cultivating new plants, growing seeds, getting people to move along the spectrum of growth. You also are a counselor, giving them advices as a consultant would do as well. So there are many of these C words today. The instructional role today is changing from direct instruction role to more of a co-participant, more of a collaborator, someone who is going to nurture a learning ecology or an environment because there are many resources you can tap into in teaching a MOOC. and many forms of learning, many forms of, many pathways for that learning. And that's the tricky part of teaching today, but it's also the exciting part, and that's the creative side and a complex side. But it also then gets you inspired and re-inspired as you see students progress and create new products that they never would have done otherwise, and make an impact in their work environments that they might not have done had they not taken your particular MOOC or open class or whatever the course format is. So that's, to me, the important aspect that we have to consider today, is that role of the instructor has become varied. It's no longer everyone teaching as direct instruction, telling to the test. We need some of that. We still need lectures. They're very important. Lectures are very important. I'm not saying we don't need to directly instruct, but it's become more varied. We need to have that more exploration of the contents out there, and the role of the instructor when you foster exploration and collaboration and discussion, and not just memorization and spitting back. The role of the instructor also should shift and change too.